and Water Conservation District. All right, and is Mrs. Swenson here? I know. A motion moved by legislator Dunn, second by legislator McClellan. And item 20, resolution 156.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Mr. Swenson was away on vacation when the other members of the Soil and Water Board were inducted and approved, and he's back. He's here today to meet and greet everyone, and perhaps even maybe share his vision of the board. But anyway, this is Mr. Swenson.
Mr. Swenson, what would you like to tell us?
Yes, good afternoon, Board. I'm sincerely hoping that this resolution will be not as controversial as the last one. I am currently on the board of the Nassau County Soil and Water Conservation District. I'm an at-large member representing the Hempstead Harbor Protection Committee, of which the County of Nassau is also a member. I am currently serving as the treasurer for the Soil and Water Conservation District, and my term is up for reappointment. I'm very pleased the county executive has recommended me for reappointment, so I'm here to appear before you and take any questions you may have before you make this decision.
Any questions or comments from the legislators? Any public comment?
I just wanted to comment that I know Eric a little bit, and I know how active he is in supporting. I'm sorry.
Legislator McKenzie.
In supporting environmental causes in the area where I live and represent, Friends of the Bay and other organizations. And I would wholeheartedly support his reappointment to the board.
Thank you, Legislator.
Okay. Any other comments? Legislator Walker.
I would just echo what Legislator McKenzie just said. We worked together for a long time. You've done a wonderful job so far, and I hope that the approval will go through, that you will continue to do that. And I thank you for all you've done up to this point.
Thank you.
Legislator DeRizzi.
And I think this is bipartisan agreement. If anyone wants to know anything about a sewer, we call you. So we appreciate your time and your expertise.
I wish I could use a sewer at home.
I know.
Okay. There be no other comments. All those in favor of confirming the county executive's reappointment of Eric Swenson to the Soil and Water Conservation District signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, you are confirmed unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, also for calling Mr. Swenson at the top of the agenda. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Now we have a consent calendar, and for those who don't know what that means, it's the items that are going to be called have been agreed upon by both the majority and the minority as well. So I'm going to call those items. Item 22, which is resolution 172. Item 23, which is resolution 173. Item 24, resolution 174. Item 26, which is resolution 176. Item 27, resolution 177. Item 28, resolution 178. And as always, we incorporate the testimony by reference from the committees for these items. Motion, please, for the items that just called. Moved by Legislator Dunn, second by Legislator Walker. All right. Any comments, any questions, any public comment regarding any of those items that were just called? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the items passed unanimously. Now let's go to the first item on the calendar, which is a hearing. And Mr. Pulitzer, call the hearing resolution, please.
Thank you. Item number 1 on the calendar is a hearing on proposed resolution number 171-16, a resolution consenting to the acquisition and use by the Roman Catholic Diocese of Rochester, New York, of DBA Community Cemetery for certain land for cemetery purposes.
A motion to open the hearing, moved by Legislator Schaefer, second by Legislator Dunn. Okay, and who do we have to speak on this item, please?
Madam Chair, this is Nathan Jones from the diocese to testify in this.
I have to read a disclosure, so all Good afternoon, David Jones from Fortunately Kirkwood. I represent the applicant.
All right, thank you.
Center. The purpose of this application before you is to approve the diocese's use of the property for cemetery purposes under New York Real Property Law 451. The subject
Somebody
property.
can't hear you.
Pardon me?
Get closer to the
The subject property is 97 total acres and is situated in the village of Old Westbury on the northern side of Jericho Turnpike between Hitchcock and Powell's Lane. In the mid-90s, the diocese determined that it would reach capacity at its current cemetery, Holy Rood in Westbury, and undertook to find a new cemetery to serve the Catholic community in Nassau County. The property was a vacant horse farm and was selected because of its central location, proximity to major arteries and highways, and the open pastoral topography. For the last 20 years, the diocese has struggled with the village for approval of the cemetery, including litigation before the Supreme Court and Appellate Division, and litigation in federal court more recently. As we indicated in our application, in 2010, the village approved a combined cemetery and residential development after a lengthy secret process. Now, as part of the settlement of the federal lawsuit, the diocese has resubmitted a plan dropping the residential component and developing most of the property, 87 acres or so, as a cemetery. In the attached EAF comparing the new proposal to the prior approval, or explains the differences between the plans. In July, the village declared itself lead agency in determining whether the change proposal would require further environmental review compared to the secret process already concluded. When we noticed this hearing for today, we expected that second secret review to be concluded before now, and having gone before the Planning Commission, which I understand has not occurred yet. The reason for this delay is that an issue was raised as to whether the state DEC had the property on a list of suspected former landfills. Through communication with the DEC, we determined that the property was not on any such list. We provided the DEC with evidence regarding the historical use of the property, including archaeological surveys from the secret review. Last week, the DEC issued a statement that, based on the evidence, they had no reason to suspect landfill activity, and there would be no further investigation. Now that's resolved, the village has communicated that they're prepared to move forward with the secret process, and we expect that to be resolved by the end of the month. Therefore, we ask this hearing be recessed and decision reserved until such time as the secret process is concluded and the Planning Commission has had a chance to review this. And if there are any questions for me now, I'll provide other testimony.
Any questions for Legislator Schaefer?
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones.
Good afternoon.
How are you? You said that you anticipate the secret process being finished by the end of the month.
That's correct.
When would any type of development start going on? Do you have any time frame for when they would plan to do that? Plan to start any, different construction or anything that they would need to do there?
I believe as soon as the legislature approves this application and the village approves the amended resolution for the updated site plan approval, at least excavation work will begin as soon as possible. Whether above ground developments, I don't have a timetable as far as excavation versus above ground development. But if that's something helpful, I can provide that when we come back.
Okay. Is there going to be one entrance and exit into the cemetery?
I believe there's one entrance and two exits.
Two exits.
And I guess a service entrance.
And can you tell me where those will be? Which roads?
The main entrance is on Jericho Turnpike, the north side, and then there's an exit onto, I believe, Hitchcock Lane, but I'll have to check the map again.
Okay, so there's an exit, obviously, where there's an entrance as well on Jericho?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of Mr. Jones? Legislator DeReggi went quite, don't worry about it. Just ask your question.
I'm not worried about it. I don't know. Has there been any, I know you mentioned there have been a few lawsuits, but has there been any public or community feedback on the proposal other than that? Is there any opposition?
I don't know if there's any opposition to this application. The village had been fighting the diocese on this in the past, which is part of the reason for all litigation, the approvals over time. But the village is now behind the project as part of everyone kind of getting on the same page, so I don't expect any opposition from the village itself. if that answers
And
your
that
question.
includes the community, I'm assuming, not just the...
That's my understanding.
Okay, all right, thank you.
There being no other questions from or comments from the legislators, any public comments? All right, as you request, Mr. Jones, and as we were prepared to do, we are going to recess this hearing, primarily because we need the information that's still outstanding. Okay, all right, so this hearing is now in recess. Okay, and so we'll move on to the next